Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone out there. Happy Saturday or happy Friday night, wherever you might be. Welcome to Wake and Stretch. This morning I'm inside again, by choice this time, by my own choice. Feeling like this, like I didn't want to be outside. I didn't want to have to deal with the dogs this morning. As much as I love them, sometimes I need it to be a little bit more simple. I'm also not feeling all that energetic today. So honestly, I'm just being lazy. Didn't want to walk all the way over to that pretty spot. So I'm gonna just kind of chill here in the house. And if you can see behind me against the wall, I have some couch cushions because all my lovely yoga props are in the other location where I've been filming. So I'm taking what I've got, which is those couch cushions. I think I have an extra towel here for some extra support. And I'm feeling like I want to do a little yin-like type poses to start and then see where it goes from there. Like I'm really craving some supported child's pose this morning. If this is your first time joining me for Wake and Stretch, just know that this is my personal practice that I'm sharing. I do give guidance as I go through, but this is led by my intuition. So what that means is I have no plan. I don't know where I'm going, what I'm going to do. I just kind of go off what I'm feeling on that day. So it kind of makes it an interesting adventure, if you will. Yeah. Other than that, I hope you're well. I hope you are having a good night, a good afternoon, or a good morning if you're on this side of the world. The sun is shining right now, but they're forecasting a lot of rain. I think we're officially in monsoon season, which just means rainy season. Yeah, the grass is growing again. It's nice to see grass on the ground. So anyway, let's get on the mat. What do you think? All right, so hopefully you can see. I'm going to move this up. Oh, and I should also state that these red marks on the floor, it is not blood. It is the red cement that is under the gray paint. I didn't want to live in a house with red floors. It was just kind of a thing. So we painted the house gray because I like gray. Obviously, I wear gray a lot. All right, so I'm going to make my way onto the mat. Take my couch cushions. Ooh, I need my towel too, so I'm gonna go get my towel. Which is right over here. Rolled up in a nice little cylinder. And I think I need to change this angle just a little bit more so you can see me. Okay. And as I said, I'm gonna come into that nice supported child's pose. So, bringing the pillow up and in. Let's see how I can get comfy here. Oh, yes. Okay. So if you've not done yin yoga before, the physicality of it is directly opposite from hatha and vinyasa. And what it does is it really allows you to focus on your breath, to slow down, to work the body passively. And there are benefits to this, of course. I'm not going to go through them all at the moment, but instead I'm going to let my body kind of relax here. And I am also trying to be inversion free, as I said the other day. I'm going to try to keep that going. Just for a couple more days. So the attempt to keep the head in line with the heart or above it. So whenever you're doing yin yoga poses, it's individual because each body is individual as far as the propping is concerned. So what works for me might not work for you, which might not work for the next person. So if you do take a yin class, whether it's mine or someone else's, just make sure that you prop so it feels good for you, for your body. The main focus here is your breath. Yes, you feel sensation through the body. But being still, being in stillness is important to allow the body to start to open. So there is something called myofascial release. And all that means is that the connective tissue in the body starts to tug, starts to open up, if you will, for lack of a better description at the moment. I'll stay here for just a little bit longer. If you get any numbness, pins, needles, any of that kind of sensation or pain, then just gently move out of the pose. We don't want to move into pain at any time, no matter which form of yoga you're doing. Same for a little bit longer here in child's pose. And to ease out of this, use your hands as support, gently press into them and bring the spine upward. Move any props out of your way. We'll take a rebound. I'm going to move into Shavasana. And today, just going to let myself ease into the Shavasana. And it's important to move into a Shavasana or rebound pose when you're doing yin so that the body can recalibrate, if you will. You may feel a rush of sensation when you come out of the asana or the pose. And that rush of energy is the fluid, the chi, the whatever you want to call it, coming back in and flushing the areas that were compressed and tugging and stretching, opening up. A bit of recovery, if you will. And taking one more nice deep breath here in Shavasana. And gently rolling onto one side. And then progressing up to a seated position. So I'm going to take one more yin pose, I think, before doing some more activity. And I'm creating a little reclined bound angle pose. So again, I'm going to stack my pillows up so that I have a bit of an angle. So the head is higher. If you have blocks, you can put them underneath a bolster and stack them that way. You can even use, if you have more than one yoga mat, you can roll that up and you can use it along your spine. And I'm going to see how that goes for me. So I'm using this as a little extra support. So moving the hips back, bringing the legs into a butterfly position, and then resting back. Be mindful here that your head is supported. I need another prop. What else do I have here that I can, you know what, move my towel up a little bit. So it's important to have the base of your skull supported. All right, that'll work. And if this position of the legs is too much on the hips, you can slide something underneath your thighs to keep them supported, or you can open the feet. You can move the feet as close or as far away from your pelvis as you need. And the arms open up to the side for a little extra chest opening if you'd like. If you don't like, you can bring your hands somewhere else. And once you find your comfy position, take a nice deep breath and settle into the pose. Doing your best to stay still for the duration. I have no idea how many minutes we'll stay. Perhaps 1 or 2, maybe 3. Whatever feels right. Sometimes in these yin poses, it's nice to give yourself a mental body scan, just to make sure that you're not holding tension anywhere in the body. I like to go from head down towards the feet. But of course, process this any way that you'd like to. Making sure that the face and the jaw are relaxed. The neck, the throat, the upper shoulders are relaxed. The chest, shoulder blades between the shoulder blades, the armpits, the shoulders, all the way down through the triceps, biceps, forearms, wrists, and the hands. They tend to hold some tension. And let that relax and let go. And bringing the focus back towards the torso, allowing the ribs to flow easily with the breath. Being mindful of the lower back, the waistline, the belly, letting it go. Bringing your focus down to the hips, to the glutes, the outer hips, the hip flexors, the groin area. Making sure you're not gripping or holding on to the muscles here, just letting them fall with gravity. And letting the awareness move down through the thighs, the hamstrings, to the knees, the calf muscles, the shins, to the ankles. And finally down through the feet, through the heels, the arches of the foot, the top of the foot, the toe knuckles, the ball of the foot, and the toes. There's another place where tension tends to creep up. Take a nice breath and let go of that tension. And after the body scan, you can always bring your focus back to your breath. Enjoy the stillness. Enjoy the quiet. Enjoy your breath. Just a few more moments here in reclined bound angle. If your eyes are closed, gently blink them open, but keep the gaze down towards your nose. Let your hands slide down by the hips. Tuck your chin to your chest to start, and then gently roll up. Bring your hands to your outer thighs. Use the hands to gently close the legs. Let them extend long in front of you. Remove any props from underneath your body or off your mat. And find Shavasana for our rebound. Oh, feel that through the hips. Yeah. Just let yourself be here. Enjoy the experience. Take one more nice deep breath in your Shavasana. Start to wiggle the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. And give yourself a nice long stretch through the body. Oh, excuse me, a yawn snuck in there. And then hug the knees in towards your chest. Give a little rock from side to side. And roll onto your right side into fetal position. Stay here for a breath or two. We're gently pressing up. And I think it's time to do a little bit more movement now. So shifting more into the yang aspect of the practice, meaning the hatha vinyasa stuff. So first I'm going to get my hair out of my way. Then I'm going to find tabletop onto hands and knees. I'm moving through some nice gentle cows and cats since we were so still in the yin. Slowly building up into the cat-cow is wise. Now I want to ease into the body in the morning so that we can last all day. And one more round of breath. Then coming back to neutral. Letting the right leg extend long behind you, tuck the ball of the foot, and give a nice stretch. So this is my way of stretching out the legs instead of doing downward facing dog, because this actually gives me a nice stretch through the calf muscle and allows me to engage the quadricep so that the knee can straighten as much as it will. And I'm actually wearing my pajama pants today. Did not feel like putting on those yoga pants. It's just the way it is some days, right? You don't have to wear the clothes to do the practice, that's for sure. Then from here, just gently lowering down the knee and switching to the other side. Gently pressing back, getting a nice stretch through the calf. Ooh, there's some sensation there in my foot too, cool. And stretch also does not have to be super intense. And I say this because I think that there's a stigma about stretching and that it has to be painful, that you have to go to your deepest sensation. And this is me saying this because I come from a dance background. And not that dance is bad or anything like that, but there is a stigma about stretching. And be more flexible, be stronger. How high can you get your leg? All that kind of good stuff. And as I get older, I realize that yes, that is important for dancers to get work. But for the rest of us, for the rest who aren't dancing that much anymore, or who maybe have never danced before, who see all these super flexible yogis out there, it takes time to get there if you're not naturally born that way. So I guess my point is be gentle with yourself and be patient. And I moved into sort of stretching the quads because I was yapping so much. Good, so this gives a nice stretch through the quadricep muscles, and if you move your hips in different ways, you may feel a little bit of stretch up by the hip bone as well. Getting deep into the psoas. Feels kind of good on the quadricep muscles. And then coming forward and squatting with the legs in parallel. Yeah. So giving a nice stretch again through the backs of the legs, letting the spine kind of elongate. Excuse me. And then from here, bringing the torso up, finding the balance in the squat. Hands come to the heart. And I press up to standing, and I have a feeling my head won't stay to the screen. Oh, I'm so right. Okay. All right, there we are. So I'm going to move into a nice wide stance, facing the long edge of the mat. And let's move into a warrior two / triangle type flow. I think this is my jam lately. So bringing the right knee into warrior two, left leg turns in. Let the arms extend. I'm just taking a nice dynamic flow here. So inhaling, lifting the arms, straightening the front leg, and then exhale, rebending, finding warrior two. Just doing this a few times, follow your own breath. I'll give you a warning before we move on. On the next round, I'm going to add in triangle pose. So coming to warrior two first. Then inhaling and straightening, keeping the legs straight, and then exhaling into triangle. I'm going to keep the flow going, and I'm keeping this nice and shallow today. If you want to go deeper, feel free. Exhale back into warrior two. So I'm alternating between the two. Each inhale is straight legs, straight arms. Exhaling is either triangle pose or warrior two. When you reach your next triangle pose, you can stay there for a few breaths. Just kind of live in the pose. Find the nuances, find what is tight, what needs a little extra attention. And inhaling, gently bringing yourself back up to vertical. Exhaling and bringing the legs to the other side for warrior two. Actually, I'm going to give a little shake out before I do that. All right. And then coming into warrior two. So now the left knee is bent, tracking over the middle of the foot, adjusting the feet as needed, and finding warrior two. And just taking that dynamic flow with warrior two only. We'll get to triangle pose in a little bit. So inhaling, lifting up, and then exhaling, re-bending, finding that warrior two, easing in. And the pathway, the pattern of the arms doesn't matter, whatever feels good for you. This is what's happening with me this morning. And on this next round, I'm going to add triangle pose in. So inhaling as you straighten up, exhale, move to triangle. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, a warrior two. So that's our pattern. Inhaling, lifting up, straight legs, straight arms, and then exhaling into triangle pose. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling to warrior two. Continue through following your own pattern of breath. Now the next round will come into triangle pose and stay there. Inhaling, coming all the way up through vertical. Exhaling, bringing the legs back to the side of your mat. And give a little shake out here, a little wiggle wobble. And gently walk the feet underneath you and give them a little shake. Sometimes the ankles get a little bit stiff in there. And rolling through the feet a little bit. My feet, like, this is a habit that I've had forever. I've said this before, it's about pointing the feet. It's about having a nice tendu for the dancers out there. And I like to stretch out the tops of my feet. It just feels good on the feet. I don't know. Makes me feel like I can be nice and stable, and I feel like my feet are ready to take some more weight or balance. So I think I'm going to move into my favorite tree pose. Yeah, so balancing on the left foot, taking the right leg up, pressing the heel into the inner leg. Just avoid your knee joint. You want the foot above it or below it. If you have balance issues, you can stand next to a wall or have a chair nearby. And either bring your hands pressed together at your heart center, or if you want to be more creative with it, go for it. We're just going to stay here and breathe for a little bit. One more nice full breath here in tree pose. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, gently release the foot down. We'll take a half sun salutation. Inhale, sweeping up. Exhale, folding. Now inversion free. Don't go all the way down. Keep your head up. Inhale, straighten the legs. Lift yourself halfway up. Exhale, re-bend. So it's more like a plie. It's a bend through the legs. And then inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Moving into tree pose on the other side, weight into the right foot. Left foot lifts and outwardly rotates. Connect the bottom of the foot to your inner leg and find your balance. Find your breath. One more nice full breath. And one more full inhale. Exhale, gently release the foot down. Take that half sun salutation again, the modified one. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, folding forward, bending the knees deeply, keeping the head up if you're inversion free. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, bending the knees or folding forward, and then inhale, sweep it all the way up. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Good. So from here, I'm going to come back up to the top of the mat. Sorry, my head's gone. I'm going to come into a squat. So bringing the legs into a nice parallel position so the inner thighs are active. Then sitting back, arms will sweep forward. And there I am. And then gently open the knees and sit. So we'll do a little bit more hip opening. This is apparently a hip week. So, because yesterday's practice was quite hippy as well. I'm doing a gentle rock here with the right leg. I'm going to move into double pigeon from here. If this is uncomfortable for your bottom leg, you can always straighten it out. You could take the seated pigeon instead. Just allowing yourself to kind of sink in. Lengthening up through the spine. So there is activity here. Just be mindful that you're not pressing your rib cage forward. It's a very different action than going upward. And in our bodies, that tends to get confused, right? So I'm going to turn to this side here so that I can visually show you. So I find myself doing this, which is why I'm bringing it up. Sometimes when we say sit up straight, this happens. And if you can see, there's a curvature happening here. As I'm pressing forward, my pelvis is tilting back. Instead, lengthen upward. So it's more like you're taking your entire rib cage and just popping it up a little bit. Think of the waistline coming from your spine, wrapping around to the front, to the belly. So all of that is your waist, and lift all of that up. And yes, these are the things that go through my head when I'm practicing, among other things. So from here, I'm going to take a nice gentle twist, and I'm going to hug this top leg in. So my left arm grabs the right knee. Oh, good morning, hips. Feeling nice and tight this morning. Giving a nice twist to the right as I stretch out the glutes. And that chirping you hear, yeah, those are our chipmunk squirrel thingies. They're really loud. Then coming back through center, gently release the legs. You can let them extend out in front. Give them a little pop, a little rock, a little shake, a little rotation. Move into the other side. So right leg underneath, left on top. And this side will most likely feel different than the other. All good. Find what works for you on this side. Lengthening through the spine. And give a little twist to the left, hugging the top leg towards the chest. The more you sit up, the more you'll feel the stretch in the hip. Gently coming back through center, releasing the legs out, giving them a good shake, a little rock, a little pop. And then, what shall we do next? I think I want to go into a straddle. I want to get those inner thighs a little bit more. So let's use our props since we have them. We'll get so comfy with it. And this will not be as long of a hold as what we started with. My couch cushions here. I'll get them nuzzled right in towards the belly, tuck the chin, and fold it forward. You want to feel sensation through the inner thighs, the inner legs, and you can let them fall to their natural rotation. So there's no need to hold them in any particular position. And because this is more on the yang side, if you want to intensify the sensation, but you still want to be supported by the lovely pillows or cushions, whatever you might have, start to tilt your pelvis so that your tail is sticking out behind you. You'll start to feel a nice tugging sensation through the inner thighs and the groin area. And possibly all the way down to the knees. If it's too intense, of course, back off. Like I said, we're not trying to force ourselves into anything. Some passive stretching is very healthy for the body. So is the active stuff in its time. And as you know, if you've practiced with me before, I do that too. Staying here for just a few more breaths. I got lost in the chirping of that animal outside. It's very consistent. Gently rolling up through the spine. Moving the pillows out of the way. Using the hands on the legs to bring them together, give them a good shake. And I think that's all we got for today. So let's take a nice shavasana, shall we? Laying flat. Or perhaps I'm sneaking in my towel here underneath my spine. I'm a little bit more lift through the torso. Lining it up though so that my head is supported. I don't want it to be dropping back. Nope. thought it was gonna work. Don't feel good. Coming back to a nice neutral, plain old Shavasana. And we'll stay here for about anywhere from 10 to 20 breaths. Gradually start to deepen your breath, or stay in Shavasana longer if you'd like. Start to find energy in the fingers, toes, wrists, and ankles. And give yourself a nice long stretch through the body. Hug the knees in towards your chest. Have a gentle rock from side to side. And roll on to your right side, finding fetal position. Right arm underneath the head. And then gently press yourself up to a seated position. However you feel the most comfortable. And either bring your hands to your heart and belly or press them together in prayer by the heart. Eyes are closed, chin is gently lowered. Take a few moments here just to reflect on the practice. Check in to see how you're feeling, how your breath is moving through. And giving a few moments of gratitude, something that you're thankful for this morning or during this practice, something that you're thankful for today. How about that? Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste. So I hope that you enjoy this practice, this wake and stretch that I do every morning. Every day is going to be different. The dogs are going to be different. I'm going to be different. You're going to be different. And that's kind of what's awesome about all this. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.